can't change the fact that I'm bald unless I go to Turkey for a hair transplant, right? I can't change the fact that I'm not 6 feet tall, right? I can't just make random six figures out of thin air. Like those are things men just can't change just like that. But things men ask of women, like lose weight, be nice to me, don't be aggressive, don't scream, don't be like learn how to cook. Simple things. Those things women can easily do. But if you don't want to do the things the type of men you want, then you just gotta be okay with being single or dating the guy on your level. But they don't even want guys on their level.
So you're
It's almost
telling
like what
me
men
that
like.
there's nobody out there like that is the 200-pound woman's never gonna get chose, or the woman that
No, we
likes
didn't
to
say
do
that.
mechanic
We
work
didn't
is
say
never gonna
We
get
said that they
chose.
got
no.
chosen. You know why they did? Because they recalibrated themselves. They optimized themselves for the man they want. That's why they can have these 600-pound life shows and have a man. But it's not the man they want. The thing is, I think that this the argument is it's not about the man. Anybody can get a man. That's not a flex. This was his words. Because I'm not trying to steal his
Yeah, he
words.
said anybody can get a man. It's
But
about getting the
it's
man you
about
want.
getting the man that you desire. Can you
Hmm.
do that? That's the whole argument a lot of times on these panels.
But it's the same thing that men have to deal with, right?
Yeah,
If I
men
know
have to
like,
work.
okay, I'm just gonna be working at ShopRite or just your random supermarket, whatever.
KC,
I'm capped out as to what type of woman I could obtain, and most of you women probably not going to date somebody
you
who's
girl.
working at the cash register, right? And I won't blame you for it because you probably want more for your life. You probably want somebody who's going to be able to provide better, so you could have a more relaxed, soft, whatever life you want, right? For you yourself and your children, right? So if that's what I do, then I have to recognize that I'm gonna have a much smaller pool to choose from.
And in fact, women say it all the time. They say they want an ambitious man. Now, for me, because I know them so well, women claim when a woman claims I want an ambitious man, they really mean they just want a rich man. But they claim they want an ambitious man, a man who's not stagnant, a man who has goals, who's pursuing goals. Because they're like, if you're making $50,000 right now, they want you to pursue better, to be better, to work on something, or to have your own business, to be a boss, right? Because these days they're dunking on men who have 9 to 5 jobs because they want bosses and CEOs, and you gotta own like 1,000 companies like Elon Musk, right? But they require men to be better and to work on themselves. But in the same breath, they want to be the way they are. They're like, I'm going to be fat. I'm going to be the way I am. I'm going to be rude. I'm going to be loud. But you accept me the way I am, right? A real man will accept me the way I am. But me, I got standards. I'm never going to settle. You guys have heard women throw the whole thing of, I'm never going to settle. Okay, if you're never going to settle, guess what? Men are starting to wake up. They don't want to settle either.
It's the same type of thing. If we don't prepare ourselves, if just like if I'm fat as hell, if I decide to get fat, I'm going to have less of a pool of women that I have access to, and I'd have to accept that. I can't get mad at the game and then say, "Hey, y'all got to start liking fat dudes, or y'all got to start messing with broke dudes." Like it is what it is. Females want what they want. Men want what they want. We're not trying to shame um, people for their preferences unless it's just completely unrealistic and you're not doing anything to put yourself in a position to obtain that person. That's the problem.
And that's why you see a lot of DEI hires get dropped. Because a lot of those people were put in position because of a organization or some type of funding allowed that to happen. But those people would not be in that position if they weren't qualified for it, which is the reason why they were dropped. So many of them were let go. So we gotta start embracing that. I mean, you don't have to. Remember, Laisha, you don't have to change your position on this. You're a married woman. We're not. It don't apply to you. Fuck it. But we have to start looking at everything. You know, the same. You know, it's the same thing if you trying to accomplish something. And all things that you do, if you're trying to achieve something, there are steps. You
You
know,
gotta put
there's
the work in.
requirements. There's qualifications.
I agree. It takes work, guys. Even as men, it takes work. Now, for us, we are required of much harder work to impress women. Like you literally could do everything for a woman, and she could wake up and say she's not happy. Even when you think you've done everything right, she could just say, "Oh, I grew out of love." She could see a fly on the wall, and then she'll be like, "You know what? I'm no longer in love with you. I'm in love with this fly. That's the man God sent me. It's a fly on the wall." You know, metaphor for a Pookie and Rare, if you know what I mean. But the thing is, as men, we have to do so much. Yet we ask so little of the ladies, but the ladies are like, I'm never gonna do nothing for a man. You guys have heard them say that. I'm never gonna do anything to impress a man. A real man will accept me the way I am. But now that men are waking up, but now men are setting standards, the women don't like it. They usually have a list of things they want from a man, but now men are seeing beyond the beauty. Men are not going because she has a big booty, big, bouncy, juicy booty. Men are like, okay, you got a fat ass, but what more? Because men are now thinking more long term. It's like, long term, your fat ass is gonna be nice to look at, nice to squeeze and shit like that. But it's like the way how loud you are, I don't think it's gonna be peaceful in the house. So men are like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna just put some brakes on it. And women don't like the fact that men are just not going by the looks just like that. What do you guys think about that? Shout out to Lapif. Shout out to Darwin. Link down below to the channel.